It's ridiculous. No way. There's nobody else out there. He's your guy. Give a big round of applause for the one and only BodkinShow. I'm going to repeat that again, folks. I didn't stutter. Welcome to the Bodkins Show. Hey, good evening, everybody. I am that dude, Bodkins. Welcome to another episode of the Bodkins Show. This is our NFL Week 4 preview show. It is going to be a doozy. It's been a wild week in the NFL. If you missed our post show that happened on Sunday, make sure you please check that out. If you're wondering, hey, where the heck you were at this morning, Bodkins, for your weekly wrap-up, sorry, I'm going to get up early in the morning. I'm going to pump that out tomorrow morning. So that'll be live tomorrow, probably around 6 a.m. We'll do the weekly wrap-up show. Just been busy, kids. Been busy. But we will get that out. So no Kenny this week. This week is, baby last week. So he is out. Still, doing dad stuff. We wish the best of luck to him. He'll be back in. So no cool graphics. We're going to be having to manhandle it here since he's just been busy. Also, no Craig. So no K&K Fantasy Corner, unfortunately, this week, because Craig's doing dad stuff as well. They'll probably be chiming in on the comments, but both just doing dad stuff. Can't complain. Can't, default them for that. About forgot to plug in my laptop, which would have been a bad deal. But due to no Craig, no Kitty, I had to bring in a special guest, a guy who one guy who I'm like, man, I thought I was high energy. This guy's got more energy. This guy brings the heat. He brings the stuff. He brings the juice. My man, host of the fan club, my main man, Dan Bronson.
What's going on?
If my computer will add you to this. It's not. Come on. What's going on here? I'm trying to add you, Dan.
Hey,
this wouldn't be the Bodkin Show without some technical difficulties.
Hello,
my computer is frozen. What is going on? It's frozen. Hold there. Oh, now we're working. Here we go. There we go, man. Sorry, I give you the intro, then the computer freezes up.
What's going on, everybody? No, that's all right, man. Dude, the computer just
Can't
got
hear
so
you.
hyped up from that.
Now I took you off. I hit it 500 times. Hold on. There it goes. Now it's going to go because I hit. Now my computer's catching up.
It's okay.
This is a great start here.
When you're ready, all right?
Let's try this one more time. There we go. Dan, sorry. There it goes again. Gotta love technology. Great start here. We'll figure this out. Let's try it one more time. There we go. Dan, I think we're good.
Cool. No problem, buddy. It happens.
Hey, there we go. See, see that? See, welcome to the Bodkin Show. When Kenny's not around running the producing show, shit goes haywire. So this is what happens when they leave me by myself with guests. Dan, appreciate you. Go ahead and get that quick plug in for me, man, and we'll get ready to break down our NFL Week 4, bro.
Yeah, man. If you guys like the content, come check me out on the fan club, IG, Facebook, YouTube. Come check us out, man. We have a good time talking pop culture and a bunch of other stuff. And I just made a Milwaukee Bucks YouTube channel called Bucks in 6, where I'm working on my first video right now. So I wanted to just make a little channel that just focuses on everything Bucks. Not really anything else. Maybe we'll talk about our opponents, but that's about it, bud.
So you're just going to be talking about Giannis, right? I mean, that's what the whole channel's going to be about.
Pretty much. I mean, dude, honestly, though, you got Chris Middleton, you got Drew, you got Bobby Portis. What's going on with Brook Lopez? He's like 36 now. there's some good things that are good and a little enticing of like where in the future, we're going to have to make some moves, man. So it's very interesting to be a Bucs fan right now.
No, I'm on record saying that the Bucs, Middleton doesn't get hurt. Bucs probably are, right there. Maybe probably in the, it'd have been an interesting finals, Bucs and Warriors,
Because it's the opposite type of teams, man. It's like long and lanky versus little shooters. Like, it's cool, man.
100%, Dan. Hey, we're NBA season. That I don't even like to think about that till Christmas, Dan. So let's get into it. It's football season. Let's go ahead this weekend. This week's game, we starting tomorrow night. The big, prime game. It's Dolphins and the Bengals. Surprisingly, I'm surprised here. Bengals are the dog going into Cincinnati at. Cincinnati's favorite at -4. Cincinnati's wearing the all-white unis, Dan. I'm bringing them out, the white helmets. They're ready, looking fresh and clean. What's your thoughts, though, here on Bengals and Dolphins? Dolphins coming off that big win on Sunday against the Bills.
So who's the favorite for this one? The Bengals?
The Bengals are, it's 4 here.
So, I honestly think the Bengals are going to win this game because Miami has been so good the last few games. This seems like a trap game. They happen all the time. The Dolphins do so far look like the better team. So obviously if the Dolphins win it, it wouldn't be that crazy. It's not that much of an upset. But at the same time, the Bengals, this is their game to get their stuff together. Or they're really gonna be going down the wrong turn early in the season, especially being the champions, or how do you say it? They went to the Super Bowl, they lost, but dude, you were good enough to go there, man. Like I'm taking the Bengals this week just based on that. Even though Miami seems like they're the better team, the Bengals have to show some life this week. They have to.
Yeah, you're right. The Bengals looked a little bit better than they had. They looked good last week, but that was against the crappy Jets. And before I give my pick, I got to remind everybody at the season's end, between me, Kenny, and Craig, and we're tallying up all our guests too. The winner will get the Bodkin Show gold-plated chain. That's right. That's what we're playing for here, Dan. That's what this show's all about, is this nice gold chain. You know what I mean? So that's what we're playing for. Yeah. That's what we don't just come on the show to make picks, Dan. We play for something here. Whether it's on our MMA show, we got the strap, baby. I'm the defending champion on the MMA show. We got belts. We got chains for our football. That's how we do it here on the Bodkin Show, Dan. Last week, I got to remind everybody, too, Kenny will update the graph when he gets done doing dad duty someday. But I went 8-7 last week, so a game above 500. Craig, awful week, went 6-10 here. So we didn't have any guest picker last week. A guy, power went out at the house, so we'll have to make up for that. But, hey, I do know Rob Logan went 9-7. He's been our best guest picker, and that was week 1. So let's see if you can beat him, Dan. Rob Logan, member of the Let's Talk Sports community. So with all being said, you're right. Cincinnati's got to get it together. This does seem like a quick turnaround. The Dolphins are coming off that high of highs against the Bills in what was a wild game. They're banged up. Tua's got the ankle back, it seems like. I believe Waddle is a little banged up as well.
Yep.
Tyreek Hill, he called out Eli Apple, said, "I'm coming for you, boy. I'm coming for you. The cheetah's coming for you." And if this game was Bengals -3.5, it's at 4. So the Bengals got to score a touchdown to win it or to cover. I like the Bengals money line, but give me the Dolphins at +4. I'll take the points with the Dolphins here. I just think the Bengals it's going to be a close game. I like Bengals money line, but give me Miami at +4.
Okay. I can respect that. I see where you're going there.
Yeah, hammering home the Dolphins, baby. That's what we're doing here. We got a comment coming in here real quick. Craig is chiming in here. To a questionable Bengals at home.
You said.
Yeah, Bengals money line, but Fins cover +4. Exactly. That's why sometimes me and Craig, if we're doing the show together, it's like, well, we're saying the same shit because great minds think alike, even though his picks were awful last week and the few games he went different on mine. So let's get into it. Your Vikings traveling across the pond, Dan, to face the Saints. It's a pick'em game. I'm surprised because the Vikings, I don't really know, actually, because which Vikings team's going to show up? They kicked the Green Bay's butt in week 1, haven't looked great in the next 2 weeks, and the Saints have looked awful the last 2 weeks as well. So who do you like here? And it's just a straight pick 'em in the London game. Vikings-Saints.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the Vikings. That's just kind of what I feel. They always play really well in London for some reason. The past 2 games I can remember them being in London, they've won. And lately, we've been getting the number on the Saints lately too. So and the Saints aren't as good as they used to be. Jameis Winston is struggling with health. Alvin Kamara is struggling with the ribs. It's not the same team that it was a few years ago with Drew Brees. Yes, could they show up and beat the Vikings? Yes. Like you said, it depends on what team you're going to get out of the Vikings. But when it comes to just raw talent overall, even though I like the Saints defense better than the Vikings, I think that the offense of Minnesota is way better than the offense on the Saints right now, even though they have some nice pieces. Michael Thomas is a little beat up. I love Olave. They got Jarvis Landry. They got some studs over there, but they haven't looked the best so far in the season. I'm going to take the Vikings, but it wouldn't be shocking if the Saints won this game. Dan,
where's Justin Jefferson been at? I mean, he's MIA the last 2 games. Is it Kirk Cousins or is that Justin Jefferson? What's going on here? Because week 1, it looked like it was going to be Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford all over again. And then no show Monday night and really no show last week, against the Lions. So where's he at here? Are they going to find him in London?
Yeah, week 1, they those coverages, they were just leaving bro just straight open and they were eating. And if you look at Adam Thielen's production, he wasn't getting any the first couple weeks. And then last week, Adam Thielen was eating because they were just giving him all of that whack-ass single coverage zone. He's just coming through it and getting open. Some days one guy's going to eat. Some days the other guy's going to eat. As long as you win, and Justin Jefferson, I'm not worried about him right now. He looks good. There's times where he gets double teamed or he gets the number 1 guy and he gets lost a little bit. He's still a younger receiver. I'm not too worried about him. Can we move the ball in other areas? And we've been able to do that. Like last game, Justin Jefferson did not put up a good game, but another receiver was going off. So that there's some justification there. I'm just glad to see Adam Thielen finally showed up for a game. So let's get this pass game back to normal. And part of it, I bet, is on Jefferson because he's still a young receiver. He's making mistakes. There are a couple mistakes. Like one of the picks that Cousins threw in game 2 versus the Eagles was Justin Jefferson's fault. He's got to learn a little bit himself, but he's such a raw talent and is just electric and freakishly gifted. I'm not too worried right now. He keeps getting better and learning. He will be okay, my brother.
All right, so I think they find him. Craig's chiming in here again real quick while I'm going to think about this pick before I go here. Computer is just slow.
It's okay, bud.
It's all right. Hey, well, anyway, Craig's saying Saints defense the type to give Kurtz fits, but he doesn't trust him. He likes the Vikings win and cover. Here's the thing. Dan, answer me this question. Is this game on prime time?
Well, no, it's at like 8:30 in the morning.
It's not on prime time, exactly. So you're going to be okay.
Yeah. So Kurt's going to get the win. Yeah. Dude, you're right.
Kurt's going to get the win. Hey, I'll trust Kirk Cousins when it's not prime time, baby. Ain't nobody up at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. Only people watching that game's the people in London. I'll take Kirk Cousins. We're all on Minnesota beating the Saints. I don't trust Jameis. I trust Kirk Cousins just a little bit more than I do Jameis Winston.
Hey, you're right. It's like a 73-degree day at 1 p.m. Bro's going to ball out.
You were slow answering that question. You're like, no. Hey, let's get into the next game here.
Oh, that's awesome.
We got the Browns, Falcons. It's another pick'em game. Browns, man, surprised a lot of people how good they looked on Thursday. I'm surprised this is a pick'em game. Browns going into Atlanta. Atlanta coming off the win against Seattle. Dan, how you like this game in a pick'em game? Browns headed to Atlanta here.
My brain hurts with this one because they both you could both make arguments how they can mess this game up on both sides or win the game. It's just Atlanta's home, and with these type of weird games, I feel like home advantage really matters. Who's the quarterback of the Browns? Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett, and he looked pretty darn good on
so far.
Yeah. I mean, really, they are one bad collapse from the Jets against the Jets from being undefeated.
And their problem is like Brissett is good, but there's a reason why he's not like an everyday starter. He's going to have that game where he kind of poops the bed. And is this the game? You're at Atlanta.
No Myles Garrett. Well, we don't know about Myles. Myles got in a car accident. Is dinged up, but not sure if he's playing or not. He's kind of up in the air. Hasn't practiced.
And I don't know. I like Atlanta to score enough points. They're a weird team. Like they're a very, I don't know. They're very up and down. But if I were to choose, I would choose the Falcons. Even though the Browns have a better defense, I just kind of like the offensive weapons of Atlanta more than I trust the Browns' offensive weapons right now. I don't know. I'm going with Atlanta, but I could definitely mess this pick up.
Yeah, this is Atlanta's looked pretty good at times, right? But like at other times, it's like you just still can't trust them. Like somehow, some way, they could be up by 2 scores and fumble this game away because it's Atlanta. I think the Browns found something in Amari Cooper, Brissett to Amari Cooper. David Njoku looked really good. They finally found him, and that. I'll tell you this: the Steelers' defense is better than Atlanta's defense, and the Browns were able to kind of not really put it on the Steelers, but pulled away and just looked better than what I thought they were going to. I'm hammering home the Brownies going to Atlanta. Mark it down.
Okay. I can't hate on that one. That one's hard because they're both similar teams right now.
Yeah, it's a tough. That truly is kind of a pick'em. And now we got the Commanders going to Dallas. Dallas going to keep playing Cooper Rush. Cowboys are the favorites at -3. The Commanders coming off that bad beatdown that they took from Philly. Are you on the Cooper Cush Rush train, Dan, or are you taking the Commanders to have a bounce back game here?
I actually really like Rush. I think it's respectable, but I think he's one of those players that he's been in the background. He's been working kind of like a Case Keenum situation. But if you keep him out there long enough, he's going to get exposed. There's a reason why he isn't an everyday starter. Someone's going to figure him out. And if anyone's going to figure him out, it's going to be like a Ron Rivera type of guy for one game. you know what, Chris? I agree. Cowboys defense, you don't trust Wentz, but I don't know. I trust Wentz over Cooper Rush. There's something weird here about this game where I honestly think that the commies are going to win. Like it's just, it makes the most sense to me. The Dallas Cowboys are a walking talking explosion waiting to happen, and they always blow up at home in front of their fans, but it happens all the time. Some of the worst losses are in Jerry World. So I'm just saying, my heart is telling me that Washington's going to win. My pockets that keep saying that the Dallas defense is way better and they're going to win, but I don't know, man. My heart's telling me Washington. We're going with the commies.
Dan, let me ask you this real quick. What do you make of people saying Cooper Rush should be, that there should be a quarterback controversy, or Cooper Rush should be played over Dak when he gets back? Because I am definitely not on that train. I think Cooper has played – he's done enough to keep his backup role, right? Like, not enough to take Dak's job. They paid Dak all that money. Are you on that same wavelength?
He would have to do more than have 210 yards and a touchdown or something. And don't get me wrong, like Dak Prescott did that to Tony Romo. Like, it happens, but you have to go on a stretch and not only string together a long streak, you got to go like 8-2 or 7-3 or something. And then you got to put together some gaudy stats at times, shit. Tua was on the hot seat at the beginning of this year. So what does he do? He throws 6 touchdowns in a game. Like, there are times where you have to prove I'm the man. And don't get me wrong, this might be a great opportunity for Cooper Rush to get a paycheck from somewhere else down the line. But how can you pay all that money to Dak Prescott to just get rid of him? Like, that's not how this league works. Nobody's going to really want all that money for Dak right now. Because he's injured, and the last few games before he got injured, he didn't look great. He's not at the best position to trade him right now. So, I don't know. And Dak Prescott has put up so many big stats. Yes, he's not the best quarterback, but he's like a Kirk Cousins with legs. He's a very good, capable quarterback.
He's the J.C. Penney version of Kirk Cousins. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, like he's good, bro. Like, he's not a bad player. He's respectable. He comes in. He's a leader. He's got a cannon. He can run around. But he's not the best player either. But he's way better than Cooper Rush. And Cooper Rush, if you want to have a competition, you got to do something crazy. You got to have them go. Like, if you take this team to the playoffs and you have over 4,000 passing yards and over 30 touchdowns this year, now we're talking about you being a starter.
Yeah, I'm with you. You said it. You kind of said it right there, Dan. It's like, hey, he's played well, but he's not played great. Cooper hasn't played well enough to win games against bad teams. And defense has kept him in a lot of games. We saw what that Eagles front seven did to Carson Wentz on Sunday. Dallas has got a better front seven. Micah Parsons going to go off. I like Dallas to cover here at plus 3.5. Give me Dallas to win this game here.
I'm taking the upset. Give me the commies.
Oh, it's actually minus 3. I said 3.5, so it's minus 3. We get into another game here. It's the Seahawks plus going to the Lions. The Lions are the favorites at minus 4.5. Seattle hasn't looked good since week 1. They got 4.5. Are you taking the points with Seattle at 4.5? Or the Lions have been in every game.
The Lions have given up a lot of games. It's weird because part of me, this is the worst bet ever because every part of me is saying the Lions, but my wallet's like, don't you bet on those damn Lions. Like it's weird. Like they have the more talented team, the better receivers, quarterback. Well, I guess the receivers are arguably, but they got some good receivers, weapons, quarterback, defense. But it's the Lions. They find a way to screw up every dang game. And I know they're better than the Seahawks. They are on paper miles above the Seahawks.
They should have beat your Vikings last week. I mean, blown coverage away.
Yeah.
Blown coverage away.
Blown coverage, one missed kick. Like how many kicks did we both miss in a game? There was like 4 or 5 missed kicks that game. Anybody could have won that. That was like dodging a bullet, man. So the Lions are the weirdest team. I'm going with the Lions, but I don't feel good about it at all. Part of me wants to put my money on the Seahawks, but I'm just because they played us so hard this past week and showed me that they can win games, I'm going to pick the Lions, but they are scary.
Yeah, I'm a huge Dan Cable fan, man. We're just gonna go out there and bite some kneecaps, man. We don't have Swift this game, man. But I love Jamal Williams, man. He's gonna score some touchdowns, man. I just love that guy, man. And Goff is going to throw for a couple 100 yards, and St. Mont Brown's going to score some touchdowns, and the Lions are going to cover here at -4.5. I believe in the Lions. I've been picking the Lions to cover. They're the dogs, and I've been picking them to. That's the second time now that they're the favorite, and they're undefeated against the spread. So I'm continuing to ride the Lions against whether it's against the spread. So I'm going to keep picking them. All right, let's get into the next game. It's Titans coming off their first win and going to Indy coming off their first win against the impressive Colts are the Chiefs. Colts are the favorite here at -3. Dan, which team gets their second win here? The Colts are the Titans, and both these teams I feel like have to do the same thing, right? They want to run the ball, control the clock, can't commit any turnovers. That's what both these teams want to do.
Dude, these guys are like cousins. They're like the same, bro. Like they've got quarterbacks that are kind of past their prime, decent, like nice, accurate quarterbacks, respectable. They've got 2 of the best 2 running backs in the league and a nice defense, but they both have underachieved like a MFer, man. They've been horrible this year, both of them, and have had bad losses. So I don't know who to trust. Man, I think when it comes down to these, you look at who's home and you look at kind of what's going on. The last game, they're both coming off of a win. My heart's telling me Matt Ryan and the Colts are going to be a little bit more prepared this week coming off that big Patrick Mahomes win. I'm going to go with the Colts, but honestly, it could go either way. This one, it's like the Lions pick. I don't feel confident about this pick at all, but I'm going to go the Colts.
Yeah, here's the thing is I'm kind of with you. And if this game was like in Tennessee, right, the Titans are probably favored by 3. But because it's in Indy, they're giving the home team the 3 points. It's almost a pick'em game here. But I trust Matt Ryan a little bit more than I do Ryan Tannehill right now. Ryan Tannehill hasn't looked great. And maybe the Colts found something last week. They got some breaks that go their way against the Chiefs. And, I mean, I don't feel good about it either, but I picked the Colts to freaking make the Super Bowl on this show. So I got to ride with the Colts, lock it in. We're all in on Indy. Yes, so the reason I picked Indy is because Craig, when we were doing our show, our NFL preview show, Craig picked Baltimore, and I was like, well, I was going to pick Baltimore, so I can't pick Baltimore. So, and I didn't want to – Kenny picked Buffalo, and I didn't want to pick Buffalo, so I went with Indy. So, spice it up a little bit.
Similar situation on the call-in show. They were like all about like, oh, who's your protected team? Like that was bad last year's going to be good this year. And like everyone talked about the Vikings. Everyone talked about like all the other ones that were obvious. And I'm like, well, what about the Panthers? And that was awful, bro. I should have never talked about Baker.
Yeah. Speaking of Baker, Craig was on that Baker train here, and he's chiming in here. He is on the Titans. He said Titans played their game last week. Colts got bailed out in some ways. Henry train getting going. Colts offense not enough to take him out of it. So he's in on the Titans here.
Okay. And I respect that. They're both. You can make an argument because I like the Colts running back too. He's a beast if he gets going. But yeah,
Jonathan Taylor, yeah.
Way, they're both really the same style teams. So if the Titans win, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, we got another comment coming in here from Twitch. Diggs BTW7. Hey, what's up, G? Hey, what's up, Diggs?
What's up, Diggs?
Yeah, and I kind of like that analogy. You said they're cousins. Yeah, they're like, I mean, they're dang near half brothers. And at this case, you know, I mean, that was a perfect analogy of what those two teams are. Speaking of two teams that are, I mean, kind of similar to Bears, surprising 2-1 on the season against another surprising team, the 2-1 Giants. Neither one of these teams have looked great, but have found wins somehow. Bears going to New York. And the Giants are the favorite at -3. You like the Bears with +3? Or are you taking the Giants here? The Giants didn't look so great on Monday night, but the Bears offense looks pretty bad as well.
Yeah, these are awful. Just awful. The Bears offense is like the historically worst passing offense or lowest passing offense of all time or since like the 80s or something freaking crazy, man. I don't know. I don't believe in the Bears. I don't believe in the Giants. It's really a coin flip, honestly. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm going to say the Giants because I'm a Viking fan and I don't like the Bears. That's about all we're going to put it at. But honestly, the Bears defense is better than the Giants defense, even though I kind of like the Giants. But the Giants offense should be better because they're supposed to have more playmakers and they have Saquon Barkley. Chicago, they don't have any playmakers. David Montgomery's injured. I don't know, man. I'm taking the Giants. I got to take the Giants here.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I'll tell you who is a playmaker, and that's Saquon Barkley. He looks back, folks. I mean, did have a huge run on Monday night. He's found the end zone. They found something there. This is a game where the Giants have been shown to win, where it's low scoring. As long as Daniel Jones doesn't throw it a bad interception, they're going to grind it out. They've grinded out 2 wins. They're going to grind out the 3rd win. Dan, we're both in on the G-men.
I believe that, yeah.
All right, let's get into Jaguars. Surprising Jaguars 2-1 coming off a huge win all the way in LA where they took it to the Chargers. But one of the teams that's been the hottest here is the Eagles. Jalen Hurts. I gave him my dog of the week last week. The Eagles 6.5 favorites hosting the Jaguars. Who you like in this one? Jaguars or the Eagles, Dan?
Wow, they got +6.5 for Jags, huh? Honestly, I'm feeling that Jags. Like, this defense has looked like the best defense this year so far. They're getting forced fumbles, interceptions, sacks. They're messing up the quarterback. So I know it's the Jaguars. Like, I know they're kind of like the Lions that always let you down. But if you didn't see their helmets or their jerseys, you'd be like, yo, this is a contender. The way that I've watched a few games this year and the way that they look, man, they're getting to the quarterback quick. They're making plays and maybe it's because they actually have a head coach in Doug Peterson. Like he actually runs good pro style offenses and knows situational football, like how to call timeouts and just be a normal basic coach in the league.
Ride the team playing back home instead of going to the trap house, sticking your finger guns up places. You know what I mean?
Dude, yes. I just see so much improvement with this team. And Philly, I think, is right now, you would say that they're probably the best team or one of the best teams through the first 3 games. I can't deny that. But if anybody's going to go in there, it's going to be a young and dumb team that doesn't know any better and is going to come in there and take that L or take that W for the day. Going with the Jags. I know this might be silly, and looking back, I might regret this. Give me the Jaguars.
Yeah, this is the Doug Peterson revenge game. Like, that's the thing that, don't forget about that. The former coach, the Doug Peterson revenge game. So Craig's chiming here. Jags, second team ever to be dogs going in and win by 24 or more in consecutive weeks. Jags 6.5 dogs, right where they want to be. Jags to cover. You and Craig are both in on Jacksonville. I'm right there with you. At 6.5, it's just a little too steep. Trevor Lawrence has got something going here with Christian Kirk and Marvin Jones. They got a nice 2-headed running back system with ETN and James Robinson. The Jags look legit right now. Hammering home. Doug Peterson gets his revenge, baby. I'm all in on the Jags too. Let's get into the next game here. We got Jets at the Steelers. The Steelers, their offense, you want to talk about another offense that's been slow starting out. Zach Wilson is ready to return. The Jets are headed to Pittsburgh. Jets dogs in this one at +3.5. Who you like this one? The Steelers to get the bounce back win. They're coming off of 2 losses. Or the Jets and Zach Wilson's return here. Jets are the dog here at +3.5.
Goddamn Jets. I definitely am taking these Jets because listen to this, all right? So through the first 3 games, I didn't know this till today, Flacco was top 5 in passing, bro. So I'm just saying, if
Flacco's not going to be out there. They're going to Zach Wilson.
Yeah, but if Flacco can be, if good old 47-year-old Flacco can be top 5 in passing, I think Zach Wilson is going to do just as fine or better because he's a younger guy. Yeah, I mean, and he's got some learning to do, but I actually liked Zach Wilson coming out of the draft. He has a lot of good quality things as a quarterback. Now it's if you got to flip it and put it all together, and this is the year. It's the prove it year. Him getting hurt already is a setback, and Flacco already has thrown for all those yards. So you have to come in, and as long as the Steelers have Mitch Trubisky as their quarterback, they're going to be very one-dimensional, run the ball, play good defense, and stay in the game. If Trubisky has to beat you with his arm, it's over. And based on the offense of the Jets this past few games, I'm picking the Jets. I don't know what it is, but deep down, I think the Jets are going to win this game. Upset.
Yeah, so I'm the opposite with you when it comes to Zach Wilson. I never thought they should have drafted him at number 2. I wasn't high on him coming out of college. I'm still not high on him. I think they're a better team with Joe Flacco at quarterback than they ever will be with Zach Wilson at quarterback. I am a little worried about Mitch Trubisky. I thought this was going to be a better opportunity for him, but I think you're seeing his shortcomings. He's not throwing the ball down the field. With that being said, though, I like Pittsburgh's defense. I know no team Watt, obviously Minka Fitzpatrick's in concussion protocol, but I think he'll be able. It looks like he'll still be able ready to play. This is a get-right game for Pittsburgh. They got to have this one. They can't go out. If they lose, if Mitch Trubisky loses to the Jets and looks bad, hey, Dan, it's time. It's time to bring in the kid for Kenny Pickett. But that's not going to happen. Mitch Trubisky saves his job here. I'm hammering home the Steelers, baby.
I respect it.
Let's get into the next game. Probably maybe one of the games of the day here. Two of the MVP favorites. You have the Bills going to the Ravens. Both these offenses have looked just absolutely like wagons. The Bills coming off their first loss of the year. Going to Baltimore. Baltimore, the dog at home at 3. Who you like in this one? I mean, both these quarterbacks have absolutely torched defenses all year. I mean, you can make a case for both these guys, plus Jalen Hurts, to be MVP right now. Who you like in this one? Ravens at +3, the dogs at home.
Ooh. You know what? I usually go with the Bills, but I think the Bills are dealing with some injuries on defense, if I'm not wrong. So
yeah, half their secondary's out. I mean, their stud corner, they picked Jordan Poirier is still out. Micah Hyde's out on he's out for the season.
Oh gosh,
I think was it Zadarius White? Not Zadarius. Is it White? Who's been out, still recovering from ACL surgery from last year? Their top corner, Tre'Davious White, is out still. So they're depleted in the secondary, and Lamar has, just been killing people.
Outstanding, yeah. Baltimore, I'm giving it up to them because if you can't cover the pass, you're not going to cover the run. And he runs all over you, you're going to play him running on you, and he's just going to hit the open guy because you can't cover anybody. So this is the one time where I have the Bills over the Ravens, even though I believe the Bills overall are the better team. But if they have holes on secondary, you can score all the points you want. You have to stop somebody eventually. And I think the Ravens have a better defense right now, and their quarterbacks are very comparable. I mean, you've got an MVP versus maybe a future MVP with Allen. They're very good, but I'm going to give the small advantage to the Ravens. I'm going with them.
If Buffalo had beaten Miami, I probably take this as their first loss, but because of the way that game went, and you just seen how pissed off Josh Allen was, and how pissed off their offensive coordinator, Ken Dorsey, was after that game. I just think that they're going to, and the Ravens have struggled to get a pass rush. I mean, both these quarterbacks can run. I think what people forget is how good of a runner Josh Allen is. He's not doing what Lamar's doing as speed-wise, but, Josh Allen will run your ass over, and then gain an extra 4 yards while he's at it. So I like both these guys. I just think the Buffalo Bills are on an absolute mission. And they realize, hey, we already got one loss. We can't take too many more, because what we don't want to do is have to play in Kansas City, in Baltimore, in the postseason. We need home field advantage. We want people to come to Buffalo. I think that's why one of the reasons they were so pissed off last Sunday. I like Buffalo at -3 here. It's going to be a close game. It's probably going to be a push. I think either one of the. I think it's if Buffalo wins, I think it's going to be a field goal. So it would be a push. I just think I like Buffalo here. I'm hammering the Bills. Oh shit, camera fell. Happens at least once a show. Happens once a show. Hey, Craig's chiming in here real quick. He's saying Lamar, Ravens dogs at home, an insult to them, taking the over in the Ravens +3. And then he said, so it's funny, because while we're talking about this, we thought that Miami Bills game was going to be a shootout. And this game, he said Allen and Lamar are going to have a shootout, neither defense very good. We thought that last week, Dan, but that game wasn't, everybody was picking that Dolphins-Bills game to be like a 45-45 game, and there it was like 20-19.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Some of those are weird how it all works when the stars align. You think, oh, they got all these superstars. It's going to be the best game ever. And then it's kind of weak. It's weird how that works, man. Happens in movies sometimes too. Like you'll have 20 superstars in a movie and be like, that wasn't even that good.
It was a good game. It just wasn't as high scoring as everybody thought it was, right? Yeah. The ending was bizarre. He had it's weird because like everybody talks about that butt punt, but had that butt not, the ball not went backwards, had that landed, and Buffalo was able to recover, they probably win that game. Dolphins got lucky that the punt actually went backwards and they got the safety.
Wow, that's crazy, man. I like how Mark Sanchez was like, hey, bud.
Stay out of my lane.
Stay out of my lane, man.
Hey, let's get into it here. The Chargers coming off that beatdown they took of the Jacksonville Jaguars last week. They're traveling to the Texans here. Chargers -5 favorite. Looks like Keenan Allen's coming back, but no Joey Bosa for the Chargers. He's out he was put on IR today. Texans at our +5 here. Texans tough loss last week to the Bears. Is this a bounce back game here for Justin Herbert and the boys?
Yeah. I've got Herbert in a couple fantasy leagues, and so I'm keeping an eye on him. I have him in a dynasty league, and I got him his rookie year. I got him and Jefferson in the same draft,
nice.
Same dynasty. So I keep an eye on this guy, and he was surprisingly. I didn't even start him last week. I put Kirk Cousins in. I knew deep down. I put Kirk Cousins in. I put Jacksonville's D in because I knew what it was going to be. But after having those bruised ribs and the fractured cartilage and scoring 12 points right after that was actually a bright spot. I thought it was going to be like -8 points. So the fact this guy had 297 yards coming off of that horrible game when he hurt himself, there's hope. There's actually hope. He almost threw for 300 yards. I didn't start him, and it was the good game, the one game not to. Now it can only get better. Every game from here, he's going to feel better and more comfortable. So, yes, I do believe that the Chargers are going to win this game. And if you bring back his number one option, Keenan Allen, that's going to make him even better. Even if he is a little battered up, beat up, he just throws it to his guy. That is just people don't realize how good Keenan Allen is with those 10 to 15 yard routes. He's always open, man. He's not like a huge playmaker like Tyreek Hill can just get an 80-yard touchdown, it seems like, whenever he wants. But Keenan Allen is just always open for those 10 to 15 yards. So I'm going with the Chargers. Even if my boy Herbert's still a little beat up, he's going to come back stronger. I'm taking them.
Yeah, Craig saying here, Texans 3-0 against the spread. Chargers banged up. He likes the Chargers money line, but Texans to cover here. I'm kind of surprised it's not a 7-point game. Maybe it is because Herbert's banged up and no Joey Bosa. The Chargers looked bad last week. I was more disappointed that game got away and they left Herbert still in that game banged up. Like they were down 20 and he was still playing. I thought maybe they should have pulled him and just let their backup play, Chase Daniels play. But against the Texans here, I like the Chargers money line for sure. You know what, Dan? I'm with you though. I think it's a big bounce back game. I think the Chargers are going to put up over 10 on them. I like the Chargers here to bounce back. Give me the Chargers, baby. All right, let's get into the next one here. Carolina are the Cardinals who've looked just their offense has been I mean, just bad pressure start. It's got to get hot in the kitchen here for Kingsbury and Kyler, right? Like as they travel to Carolina, and it's a pick'em game. Dan, if I would have told you Arizona Panthers is a pick'em game at the beginning of the year, you would have told me I'm crazy, right?
I still think it's crazy now. Like, what? I mean, but I get it. They haven't looked that good, and I get it. Both of these teams haven't looked great. Wow. I can't believe it between the weapons and the quarterback and everything with the Cardinals. It's better than what the Panthers got. But wow. But the Panthers are at home. Christian McCaffrey still hasn't hurt himself yet. They got they have some playmakers. Man, I don't know. I'm gonna take the Cardinals just because I think that they're still the better team, even though it's looking rocky for them. But you know what? Baker Mayfield does have those games where you count him out and then he beats you, and then you're like, oh, why couldn't you do this last week? Yeah, I don't know. I'm going with the Cardinals, but I don't feel great about it.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you here. Like, I don't feel great about either one of these teams. I think Zona has been more disappointment. Like, I wasn't high on Carolina at the beginning of the year, but Arizona, they just paid all these guys. I mean, they gave their head coach an extension. They gave Kyler Murray an extension. They gave their GM extension, and they just haven't proved anything on the field. I mean, really, they're a team that could be 0-3 if it wasn't for a Raiders collapse. You know, like that's what happened in week 2. They looked bad the Rams, but they always look bad against the Rams. Looked bad against the Chiefs too. I just can't pick Baker and the Panthers. I can't pick Matt Rule either. I'm with you. We're both in on a bounce back game for Arizona here.
And I think that's a good case or a bad case of, let's pay everybody before they've earned it or done anything. Like, that's awful. But the coach, Kingsbury, the quarterback, Murray, like, none of these guys have proven themselves, but they gave them all the money and the extensions and stuff. So, like, of now, like, it doesn't really matter because I'm already paid. I don't have to be the best. Like, it's very interesting how it's going right now.
Yeah, let's get into it. Dan, here, the biggest spread of the day. The Patriots travel to my Packers to take on the Packers here. Packers are heavy favorites at -9.5. No Mac Jones for the Patriots. Looks like Brian Hoyer is going to be the guy. I mean, I feel like Bill Belichick is still worth more than 9.5, right? But I mean, I guess maybe not to the odds makers here. You like my Packers to cover, being the heavy favorites here?
Yeah, this game could get away from the Patriots really quick, man. Brian Hoyer is the damn quarterback, dude. He's like the Jason, like the scary movie. He's like the Jason of the NFL. You just can't kill this guy. He just literally is always there every year as a backup somewhere, either the Browns or the Colts. For some reason, he's always with the Patriots these days. They just love him. Bill Belichick doesn't like anybody except for Hoyer, man. I swear to God. It's weird. It's kind of really sad that this is your best option at quarterback because the guy was like, I feel like the guy was 28 like 10 years ago. Like, this guy is old, man. Like, he's an old cat. Like, I remember when he came in for the Browns like almost 9-10 years ago, and I picked him up as a streaming option in fantasy. It could be one of those games, like you said, where is Belichick worth it? Could Belichick come up with a game scheme just to kind of win you the spread? But at the same time, if everything ain't going kind of in the Patriots' way, I think that the Green Bay could have at least like 15 to a 25 point advantage. I do want to say, though, that the Green Bay's lack of weapons offensively gives the Patriots a little bit of that defensive advantage. Now we'll see, because their offense is so bad and you guys have a good defense. We'll see if they can do anything. But there's a small opening that part of me wants to take the Patriots with the 9.5, but part of me is like, no, dude, like I gotta almost take the Green Bay Packers, even though, I don't want to touch the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers, but I have to. Like I'm not an idiot, but it's weird, man. I'm arguing with myself I'm at least considering the Patriots just because it's 9.5, man. You don't get these a lot. It's weird, but it's 9.5 because Brian Hoyer is the quarterback. So yeah, I'm gonna go Green Bay Packers. If y'all lose this, y'all ain't good. Y'all suck. if y'all lose this, yeah, this is not your year. All right. So I'm voting for you. All
right. Hey, Greg's chiming in. He says Hoyer been here before, but Pat's offense is not good. It's not. Packers defense has looked good against everyone not named Jefferson. Big spread against Belichick, feel like a trap, but Pack 9.5 at home. Yeah, this is a game that hopefully the Packers offense, it's been slow, can get going. I think we're going to get some turnovers from our defense, get some short fields. 2 weeks ago, I said we were playing the Bears on week 2, and it was like 9.5. I said, man, I took the Bears to cover. Well, I'm not picking against my boys again. They taught me, hey, believe in us when we're playing against bad teams to cover. I believe in Aaron Rodgers. I believe in the boys. They're going to get that offense going. I expect a big bounce-back game from our running backs, Dillon and Jones, which they just tough sledding against a good Bucs defense last week. They'll bounce back. I like it. Lock it in. Packers all in. All right, let's get into – we got a few more games here. Broncos are coming off a crappy Sunday night win, which was a punt fest. It's a pick-em game here going to Las Vegas, against the Raiders, the 0-3 Raiders, the only 0-3 team in the NFL. Who are you liking this one? Are you let's ride Russ Wilson, or the Raiders kind of figure it out here?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Denver Broncos just because, even though part of me wants to take the Raiders because they're 0-3, they're going to have, this is like the game they have to win. But the one thing that I saw this week that I was like, uh-oh, you just lit a fire under him was Eli Manning, that whole punt line. Bro, he's sitting there. He's stewing on that. I'm telling you, because Eli and Peyton do the whole thing every week. I'm telling you, this week, he's going to have something fun for bro. When they're talking this week about Russ, he's going to be like, okay, watch this game, buddy. You don't poke the bear, and Russ is a competitor. When you start running your mouth about him, he's going to show up. He's got weapons. I like their defense better than the Raiders, even though it hasn't lived fully up to the hype yet. Their defense on the Broncos is very good. It's a good, respectable defense. Raiders offensive line is freaking terrible. That's a big reason why their offense is just trash. It's not really Carr or the weapons or the Adams. It's not that. If Carr's only given 2 seconds to throw the ball, it's a bad scenario. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to the Broncos because their defense is going to destroy their offensive line. The Raiders should win this game because they're at home, and if they go 0-4, they have zero chance of a playoff berth. But I'm going with Denver. I'm going with Let's Ride Russ just because he was poked this week, and they should be better record-wise than they are, man. They should be better.
So on Sunday, I gave the Raiders my big old stinky turd of the week. So as we do on our Sunday shows when we give out our dogs and turds. So I gave the Raiders the big old fat turd of the week on Sunday. But the one thing that the Raiders can do is score points. They've been able to score. One thing that the Broncos can't do is figure out how to put the ball in the end zone. The Raiders do got to get Devontae back involved. It seemed like week one, like that was the key. That's got to be the key again. Find Devontae Adams, feed him the ball because he's kind of been no-showed the last 2 weeks. It seems like he's just not getting quite the receptions and target shares. It's been going to everybody else. I like it. I think Raiders find a way to get their first win here. They can score. The Raiders coach met with Mark Davis. They pretty much said, hey, man, we got to get it going here. And I think they do. I think Raiders find a way to win here.
Isn't it funny how like the Devontae and Aaron Rodgers thing has not worked out for either one so far? Like it's like a couple that broke up and they both got into crappy relationships. Like they were better off together than anywhere else, man.
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel. It's like the Packers wanted Devontae, and now he's off with this, what he thought would be his new improved girlfriend, and it hasn't worked well. While we're still trying to find, we're playing the field trying to find our new sweet girlfriend still. Looks like maybe old Romeo Dobbs will fill that spot for us, but hey, you're exactly right. I mean, it hasn't worked out well, and I mean, the thing of it is like, did Devontae really think that and one thing Aaron Rodgers can do that Derek Carr can't do is just put the ball where he can only get it in places that where nobody can else throw it. And Derek Carr's just not that good, as good as Aaron Rodgers, and there's not very many guys that are. He probably should have stuck around.
Yeah, but what sucks, and that it's hard when you're the best at your position. You're one of the best skills position. You want to get paid like it. And the Packers weren't. Maybe they wanted to, but I don't think they were in a financial situation that they could give a max to Rodgers and Devontae in the same season.
So they were. They actually offered him more money than what Oakland gave him. They offered him more. They matched what Oakland gave him and then offered more. And he still said, no, thank you. I want to go to Oakland. So then at that point in time, that's when the trade happened.
That's crazy. Well, you know what? It will work out in the end. Is if you just the Green Bay Packers problem is they're never drafting wide receivers in the first round. So like if you would have just drafted one of those guys a couple years ago, I feel like it would have paid off now. But
yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're right. No, I wanted.
If you guys invest, you're gonna be okay in the long run if you invest. But your problem now is that you just didn't invest because, like,
we didn't invest soon enough. We didn't invest soon enough. Now it's too late, and we got rookie receivers when we need. 2 years ago we should have traded up to get Justin Jefferson, or somebody like that. Could have got DK Metcalf, who was taken in the second round, where we should have drafted him. Like now would have been their perfect time to shine because Devontae's gone. Instead, we're trying to get these rookies to learn on the fly.
Yeah, it's a very weird situation how that happened with Rodgers because he's never played with a first-round draft pick that they drafted for him. Like they might have traded for a couple like ex-first-rounders or something, but they've never given him like, here's your Justin Jefferson. Here's your guy that you're going to get the ball to and you're going to help develop. And he's got, those first 5 receivers out the gate every year have like athleticism or skills that usually the rest of them don't. And, you have diamonds in the rough, but there's those guys, those first 4 or 5 guys that bring those superstar traits, and some of them don't work out. Some do. But when you give them to Aaron Rodgers right away, their trajectory goes up. Their ceiling gets a little bit higher, man. So, I mean, he took Jordy Nelson, and it was a B receiver, and turned him into like an A guy. Like, he was just awesome. Because as soon as Jordy left, he never looked the same.
His problem was he tore his ACL and was never really the same after that. He tore his ACL, and then he played I think a year after that in Green Bay, and just went to Oakland for like a year, but just never was the same after he tore his ACL. His just couldn't recover from that. I feel like.
Dude, I miss Jordy Nelson. Like, I hated
dude was a
that
stud.
guy, dude. Hated playing him.
But you nailed it. Aaron Rodgers has thrown like 3 touchdowns to 1 first-round pick, and that's Mercedes Lewis, who the Jaguars drafted in first round in like 1999. So
that doesn't even count. You're right. They haven't given him anything, and I mean, at the end of the day, how does a team like the Vikings, who we always struggle with the quarterback, but we always have stud receivers, stud running backs, like how does a team like us invest in all of that, but you guys have dang Aaron Rodgers, like the GOAT, like one of the best, like a Tom Brady type guy, and you don't like it's kind of, and it's better than the Patriots, but doesn't that kind of remind you of the Patriots a little bit? Like, oh, we're happy with the way it is. Like, it's almost like he's good because of us type thing. Like, oh, he'll be fine, and I don't know what it is, why Devontae didn't want, why he wanted to leave. And, Rodgers has talked about leaving for years. We've talked about this before. Maybe them not having an owner hurts them in certain situations.
Yeah,
because
it does.
is in their corner. Like, Devontae, let me talk to you. I want you. I need you. Like, you don't want to go to the Raiders. You're going to be 0-4. Like somebody to actually get into your head and be like, I'm the millionaire. I'm the billionaire. Listen to me. Like, they don't have
Let's go out and get a guy. Let's go out and get a guy. Like, I don't care what it costs. Like, we're going to go out and get a guy. Yeah. No, we've talked about that before. Yeah.
They run it like a mom and pop shop, man. Like, and it's cool for situations, but when it's time to expand and go to the next level in certain things, you need a savvy business person. You need somebody that knows what they're doing. And Green Bay, when it comes to like drafting and the way that they build their team is so freaking cool. And I really appreciate it. But at the same time, they need to have that farm system mentality, but with like a CEO at the top, just to when things get a little tough. They don't really have that. And you can tell sometimes when players get mad or get upset about something, they don't have anybody to kind of go to and bitch at.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like, I mean, I've said that before. Sometimes it's cool that like fans, there's no owner and this and that, but at times it's detrimental to us as well, because we don't have a Jerry Jones says, you know what, like we are one receiver away. Like, I'm going to go sign Odell Beckham, or I'm going to make this trade. Let's do whatever it takes to get to a championship. Like, it's not run that way, unfortunately.
Yeah, the Packers are just like, we'll just take this 4th round pick and turn him into a stud. That's what they do, man. So and that's why they're impressive. That's so cool. They're kind of like the Iowa Hawkeyes. They're always good every year. They're not the best, but they're respectable every single year. The difference is Green Bay always has a quarterback and Iowa never does. I mean, I know you're a Hawkeye fan too, Dan, and I boycotted all Hawkeye games until Petrus to stop being the freaking quarterback, because I can't stand to watch the guy freaking play quarterback. It's so bad. And and I guess my point there is they get all of they take these Iowa talent teams, like half the teams are from Iowa, like players are from Iowa, and they take their recruits and turn them into respectable teams. But they never go out there and get a top recruit. Like the fact that we were as good as we were last year with Petrus as our quarterback, like, dude, we're a decent squad. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Packers is you need to go out and get more stars or
get you over the hump. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the one problem that the Hawkeyes never do, and it reminds me of that Green Bay Packers like homegrown philosophy is you build it, they'll grow or they'll come. We've got these players, and everyone's going to appreciate them and have a good time, but will you ever win a championship with that? All the teams that win championships are like the Rams. F them picks, spend some money. Like, let's go. Like, it's weird how it is. My Milwaukee Bucks, we traded 4 first-rounders for Drew Holiday and then win a championship that year. You gotta. I mean, look at the Dodgers. They went out and just grabbed everybody one time. I mean, if you're not spending money, you're not really trying right now. Because and I don't want to hear it. All of these owners are freaking billionaires. Like, quit being cheap, man.
Yeah, no, you're right. Speaking of championships, it's the Chiefs headed to the Bucks here. It's a pick'em game. It's a game that either could be played in Minnesota or could be played in Tampa Bay, depending on what's going on with Hurricane Ian here. I'm a little surprised it's a pick'em game. Maybe it's because they don't know where it's being played at, and maybe it's because, the Bucks offenses looked bad through these first 3 weeks. Is this the game the Bucks get it together? Or the Chiefs? Mahomes just keeps spreading the ball all over and finds Kelsey. Who are you liking this one on the Sunday night primetime game?
Oh, yeah. I like the Chiefs. If you can score points on the Bucks, they're done, man. Tom Brady, this is going to be his regret year. It's going to be the year that he wishes he never would have played. I mean, he's already got smashed in these first 3 games more than I see him get smashed. He looks old at times. Oh, yeah, Brady, he's a GOAT, so he's going to have plays where he looks like Tom Brady. That's not the problem. But what's Tom Brady's weakness? Getting thrown to the ground. And his offensive line is awful. I'm going to give it to the Chiefs. If the Chiefs can score like they do, and they're one of the best prolific offenses in the game the last few years, yeah, they're going to win this game. And if I'm wrong, I'll eat crow next time. But yeah, I don't give the Buccaneers a chance.
But Craig saying Bucks banged up, coaching questionable last week, Chiefs too much bouncing back from last week. I have a thing where I say you shouldn't pick against Tom Brady, but I also have a thing where you shouldn't pick against Andy Reid and Patty Mahomes either. Give me the team that's been scoring points and they just come off a bad loss. The Bucks offense is just, still banged up. No Chris Godwin. We know Mike Evans will be back off a suspension, but I'm with you. Hammering home here. Give me the Chiefs all day. Let's get into the Sunday night game. The Rams going to San Francisco. Another pick'em game. I'm kind of surprised because the Rams usually have been scoring here. The 49ers look real bad on Sunday night, but somehow it seems like the Rams always beat Arizona, the 49ers always beat the Rams, and Arizona always beats the 49ers. It's just kind of this cycle here. Jimmy G didn't play so great. You looking for a bounce back game of Jimmy G and the Rams here, or 49ers to beat the Rams here on Monday night?
How's Matt Stafford looking lately? Is his elbow okay?
He's played all right. I'd have to look up his stats the last few games, but it wasn't too bad last week.
If he's playing and his elbow's all right, I kind of been staying away from Stafford this year after I heard the whole elbow thing.
Didn't look good week one either.
49ers have they've been shooting themselves in the foot a few games, and part of me wants to say San Francisco is going to win this game, but part of me is picking the Rams. I'm going to go with the Rams on this one. This is a very toss-up, pick-em type of game. It could go either way, but I'm going Rams.
So I kind of just said my answer here. The Rams always beat Arizona. Arizona always beats the Niners. Niners always beat the Rams. Somehow, some way, it's like Kyle Shanahan has Sean McVay's number for some reason, somehow. I think it was last year on a Monday night game or Sunday night game, and the Rams lost to the 49ers. Debo ran all over them. It was like the best the 49ers had looked in a game they had to have. This is kind of that same situation. The Rams can't afford to go 1-3. They can they win here. I like them to be 2-2. Rams would be 2-2. Arizona 2-2. If all our picks are correct, which they will be here. So I'm going 49ers here on Monday night.
Oh, that a boy. I like it. I like it. We had the same picks on many of them, and then we kind of differentiated on a couple.
Always. Hey, that's the NFL, baby. Craig's chiming in here real quick too. Rams, 49ers been McVay kryptonite. Niners tough at home. Niners bounce back. Rams have real worries. So he's kind of on the same train I am. Dan, I can't thank you enough for joining me tonight, my man. Go ahead, get that plug in. Let everybody know where we can catch you at.
Yeah, come check us out on our YouTube channel, The Fan Club. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook, man. We talk a lot of pop culture and stuff like that, but I actually do have a new YouTube channel called Bucks in 6. Come check us out. We talk Bucks basketball. I'm actually working on the first video right now.
Hey, again, Dan, I appreciate it. Kenny and Craig will hopefully be back on Sunday night. I'll be back in the morning for our weekly wrap-up show. We'll talk all things sports, wrap up everything that's happened in the past week of sports outside of the NFL, because obviously we just nailed it all here tonight, and we nailed it on Sunday. We'll have our Head Kicks and Haymakers show Sunday morning as well. That'll be happening at 7 a.m. Central Time Zone. And then we'll be back that night at 8:30 p.m. for our NFL Week 4 reaction show. Again, Dan, I can't thank you enough, my friend. I'm going to hit that outro. Hey, folks, be a friend, tell a friend, hit the nice little subscribe button. We're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Head over there. Give us a nice little 5-star rating. Hey, mutual friend Dan Harris, get healthy, buddy. Get better. We miss you. Head over to Let's Talk Sports. Make sure you guys are liking their stuff and subscribing. They're covering every team, every sport. But we need to get Dan Harris back and healthy, brother. We appreciate everything that you do. Also, we want to dedicate this show to the one and only Coolio. Rest in peace. Coolio passed away. That's coming from Craig, so I haven't checked my source on that. But if Coolio did pass, we dedicate this show to the one and only Gangster's Paradise. All right, I appreciate it, Dan. Hitting that outro, folks. You guys know what to do. Be a friend, tell a friend. We'll see you in the morning.